All right, well, let's move on to talking about Lightning Lane Multipass. So this is the first chance we've actually had to try it out. So we talked about it being implemented, and we were going to wait to talk about it until we actually tried it, something like that. So we did give it a go at Hollywood Studios on our trip this past weekend.
Yep. So we went on a Saturday, and we did the whole thing where you could, reserve the 3 Lightning lanes in advance. And so that's what we did. And after a lot of modifying a lot, I ended up getting a Slinky Dog Dash from 9 to 10. That was crazy, by the way. 10:40 to 11:40, we had Toy Story Mania. And then, let's see, it was 11:20 to 12:20, we had Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we had those 3 going into Hollywood Studios Day. We weren't getting any virtual queues or anything. We're just trying this multi-pass out. We didn't get any single pass as well, which is probably a good thing because Rise of the Resistance was down until like almost 11 a.m. that day. That's okay. Neither here nor there.
I mean, yeah, that ride kind of has a rep.
Yeah.
They did have somebody out on not a megaphone. She had a microphone saying it was closed.
We don't know when it'll be opening.
So basically they just keep people coming asking questions. So they're just like having this on loop of what they're saying. But
absolutely. So anyway, we decided to go to Hollywood Studios. We got there. It was right at opening, wasn't it? Wasn't it right at 9?
Yeah, we were there basically. Yeah, we were there like at park open.
Yeah, and there was no way we were getting there earlier because I had just done the Halloween party the night before. And I was exhausted, and I was like, I can't get up earlier. This is as early as it gonna get. So we didn't do any rope dropping, anything that we didn't have Lightning Lane for at that point. So we went ahead and used our Slinky Dog Dash. We scanned in. As soon as we scanned in, I went to see what else I could get. And they do have 2 places where you have to scan in at Slinky Dog Dash. One when you first walk in, and one right before they filter you off into the last line before they put you into your lanes. So I was able to get Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for 11:20 to 12:20, which is the exact same time as I had Tower of Terror, which was weird. So they completely overlapped with two attractions.
And there was no warning about it either.
No, I mean they did say there are attractions happening at the same time, but they didn't not let me do it.
Right.
So, and I know some people have had issues with that. So I think it just depends. I don't know about that one. So anyway, completely overlapped. So we did Slinky Dog, and then we're like, well, we have a little bit of time before our next Lightning Lane, which was at Toy Story Mania. And I was trying to see if I could find anything earlier for that, but it was already like 9:30. I was like, I'm probably not going to find anything earlier than that for Toy Story Mania. So we went ahead and rode some stuff that didn't have lines. We decided to do Aliens Rolling Saucers, which was like 5-minute wait.
Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, we were over there. We're like, might as well just do it. And then
we were just doing it to try and see how many rides we could do.
Exactly.
Not because it's a great attraction.
Well, we did have fun.
I would not have rode it if it wasn't for you wanting to ride it.
Hey, but you have fun with me.
No,
right?
I know, but it's something we take the kids on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. But it was right there, and I was just like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it and just mark it off our list kind of thing. So after that, I had Jared do Smuggler's Run. Now, I can't really ride Smuggler's Run because it makes me sick. But I was like, okay, well, you can do it. And he did the single rudder line. Did you wait at all?
I waited 5-ish minutes.
Oh,
it was
nothing.
pretty quick. But.
Okay. And we got there. The line was like 40 minutes, I want to say. So he rode that. And then we got some coffee. We got the cold brew at Cat Sacks. That's not right. How do you say it? What's it? Cat Sacca's Kettle?
I think it's Cat Sacca's Kettle.
Wow, I can't say it. Cat Sacca's Kettle.
There you go.
Thank you.
You did it.
So we got the cold brew with the Cocoa Puffs on the top and everything, which is good. But we do recommend getting extra cream. It makes it taste better if you do extra cream.
I mean, I like coffee more than you. I was okay with it, but extra cream's not bad. But
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
I wish I actually would serve it without ice because the ice cubes are the same size as the Cocoa Puffs. So a lot of times when you think you're getting Cocoa Puffs, you're getting ice.
Yes. Somebody in Instagram actually recommended, like, don't get ice. It's cold enough. You don't need it.
Also,
don't get ice.
Yeah, ice, like you get more coffee if you don't get as much ice. So
That is true.
yeah.
That is true. So after that, got some coffee and everything, we walked by and then saw that Rise of the Resistance was still down. And this was about 9:50. Something like that. Like, again, we're doing these things like very quickly because the park was just opened.
Yeah.
And the lines were pretty short. So then we decided to do Star Tours.
We did go do Star Tours.
We did Star Tours. It was a 15-minute wait posted, and that's about as long as we waited.
That line moves very quick because the line was out to the like AT-ATs outside, and it still was 15 minutes.
I think the Frozen show had just gotten out. Because
it had
a bunch of people.
All of a sudden, it went from no wait to like 15 out of nowhere. So I'm thinking that happened. Probably.
Yeah, and we saw a new scene with Ahsoka, which I hadn't seen before, so that was pretty cool. And then as soon as we were done, we ran to go watch Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular that started at 10:45.
Which is good. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah,
but it's a good show.
It was great.
I still think. I mean, that one is I guess you would just call it like the longest running one. It's been around. But I do think after seeing that the Bourne stunt show in Universal Studios is so much. Well, I shouldn't say so much. I think it's a better show for a stunt show.
Yeah.
But the concepts are different. This one's like you're watching a movie set sort of thing, even though the cameras are clearly fake. But
yeah. So at this point, we had done 5 attractions in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we did quite a bit. And then, so after this time, it was about 11:15 when the show got out. And we looked, or actually Jared looked, and he saw that we had a multiple experiences pass because Mickey and Minnie's was down.
Mm-hmm. So
we're like, okay. So we decided to go ahead and do our Toy Story Mania Multipass because, like I said, we had Toy Story Mania from 10:40 to 11:40, and it was only 11:15 at that time. So we're like, okay, we'll go use that. And then we had Tower of Terror at 11:20. So it was just now starting that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we went in and did Toy Story Mania. And we went in and scanned in. And as soon as we scanned in, I'm starting to look to see what else we can get. So I went ahead and grabbed a rock and roller coaster for $4.15. Now, each of us don't ride rock and roller coaster, but this is one of those things where I was trying to see like what we could get. And I did eventually release this one and some other ones that we didn't get to use. But I just wanted to make sure that, this was something that we could do if we wanted to. So we got a $4.15 for rock and roller coaster as soon as we scanned in for that. And because we had multiple experiences for Mickey and Minnie's, we also had another allotment available. So we were able to hold 4 at one time because of that one.
Yes.
So I went ahead and got a Mickey and Minnie's because it came back up.
I did, yeah.
So I got a second one for Mickey and Minnie's. But we went ahead and rode Toy Story Mania. And then we rushed over to finish the Tower of Terror one, which I got right at the end. He did not ride that one with me. So we just let his expire. And then I was able to make new ones after that. And I think I got one for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
which was just one of those where I was like, we don't really need it, but like we could do it because it's just a show, And then right after that, we used our multiple experiences for Mickey and Minnie's because the other multi-pass I had made for that one wasn't until that evening at like 6. So it was just kind of like I was kind of almost stacking them for the nighttime at this point, if you will. So we did that, and then we decided to take a break at Baseline. And I have some bad news for y'all at Baseline. The hibiscus strawberry soda we used to get free refills on no longer offers that.
I wasn't surprised. I went up there because I was being nice to try and get you more. And then I waited in line too. And then they stopped doing it like a couple of months ago.
I was like, well, that is not fun. So anyway, it used to be a pretty big perk.
Although the pretzel still is the best pretzel in a theme park I've
good.
had there. It is very good.
It's so delicious. So at that point, we had done 8 rides, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we had to leave at this point. But we still had 3 lightning lanes left for the day. We had Rock and Roller Coaster. We were able to grab a Smuggler's Run. We did let the Beauty and the Beast one just expire because we didn't make it there. We ran out of time. And the Mickey Minis, that was later in the day.
Yeah.
I was able to modify, and I checked for a while, and I was able to modify the Rock and Roller Coaster to an earlier time to about like 2:55. But so I was able to do that. So if we wanted to stay later, we could have used it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up doing 8 rides. We got 8 lightning lanes, and there's 3 or 4 we didn't get to use. Mm-hmm. So for a day where it wasn't that busy, we did pretty good for only being there for 5 hours.
That's what I was gonna say. It wasn't a busy day. No. It was. I mean, it was one of those park days where it's not that it was like empty, but it wasn't like slammed. So that's something to take into account. I was surprised we got as many ones as we've gotten, but I also am curious to see how the system works on a very busy day.
Come October, you guys, when it gets busy in the parks, that's going to be the real testament to how this works.
Yeah, and having used it, it's basically how FastPass used to work. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's essentially that system. So
it's FastPass and Genie, the smushed together kind of.
Well, that's what we said they would eventually do. I do think after using it, I do think the system is more conducive to people that don't go a lot. It's a much easier system to grasp and to use in that way. So I think for the general public, the infrequent, park goers, I think it makes more sense to them. And again, I understand. Now, we were able to do quite a bit of things here, but I can imagine if you're used to Genie Plus, you can't stack.
Yeah.
Like if we were going to do what we've done at Hollywood Studios before, where we stack it for the evening because we're going to be there like later in the day. Mm-hmm. You can't do that on this system.
Right.
But, once you
you could, but only 3.
Right. I mean, yeah, in terms of what you used to be able to do. But, once you do scan in that first one, you are able to mess with times, pick up different ones. And I think the one thing I would say is don't be afraid to modify.
That is true. Modifying is very good, and you can find some times that will pop up. The only thing with that is, again, the problem that people were having with Genie Plus is that you have to spend a lot of time on your phone.
Well, this doesn't solve that problem either. This does solve, I suppose, the problem of having to get up early every single day, sort of situation. For it specifically, but I do think as a whole, it's still a system where to get the most out of it, you got to be on your phone a lot, and I do think that's a downside. I think the more that you look at vacations and how people want a vacation, I think for a lot of people they don't want to be stuck on their phones a lot, and unfortunately Disney kind of forces you to if you want to get the I'm just going to call it FastPass, but Multipass Lightning Lane.
And, something that, actually playing with the system for this day is that, if you were staying off property and you only have the 3 days in advance to make your 3 selections, you may not get the times that you want. But again, because of the modify feature, you can sometimes modify to get something that you really do want earlier in the day. So for example, if you're trying to go for Slinky Dog and you're 3 days out and you're making it for the last day of or the day of your vacation, you may be only able to get an 8 p.m. reservation.
Yeah.
But on the day, people switch around stuff all the time. They drop them. Don't be afraid to modify. But your best chance of getting the 3 that you want, the times you want, is staying on property and reserving it 7 days out. It just is. It just is.
Going forward, I am curious about the inventory side of things of whenever it is really busy.
Yeah.
People that aren't staying on property, how much are you able to get? Because again, you don't want a system to where I'm okay in theory of letting people who are staying on property have an advantage. I mean, it's part of their built-in marketing ploy.
Isn't that the perk?
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the same thing of having, if you don't buy Lightning Lane, you also don't want the standby to be 9 hours long, because you want people that are still in the parks to have a good time. So I feel like they'll figure out the balance there, hopefully, to where even if you're off property, you may not have the pick of the litter, but you're still able to get some stuff that you want, because, that does make sense. But we'll have to see how now I'm sure whatever they adjust, they're not going to come out and really say too much.
Probably
but,
not.
Sometimes they do implement drops at certain times of the day. That was something that was pretty common with FastPass systems. So I think they'll probably do that on here as well. But all in all, I mean, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, in Hollywood Studios is a hard one to do because it does have the tiers, and there's only so many headliner attractions in that park.
Right.
So it is a difficult one. So like if there's one attraction that is just they don't have any available and like they all go earlier in the day, you're going to be SOL on that one unless you wait standby. And that's one of like a few. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just a difficult park, which is kind of why we started with this one.
Yeah. So. I mean, all in all, I mean,
yep.
What do you think about the system? About what you expected? I mean, I don't really think it threw any curveballs.
No, didn't throw any curveballs.
I think it was I think it's a simpler system than Genie Plus.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on your look to this. I think if you're coming in thinking Genie Plus is too complicated, you'll like this more. If you were able to really mess with Genie Plus and get a lot of rides, you're probably not going to like this as much.
Yeah. I think it's the whole preparation in going like before your trip, knowing what you have, I think is obviously the biggest perk with this new system.
Right.
I know for me, like knowing that I'm going to be able to ride Slinky Dog at 9:00, or at least, if it doesn't go down, that I'm going to be able to ride it the beginning of the day because I have to pass for it. There's a lot of like comfort in that, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, planners will like this much more.
I like plan. But again, if you like to modify and you're okay with modifying, there's also options for you with that. So there's a lot of good things. There's not, some not so good things, but they at least seem like they're trying to make it a better system and make it to where, not all the locals get all the lightning lanes, and everybody that's coming in for the first time or second time or whatever only get like one or two. I think they're trying to like bridge that and have everybody kind of like spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's
anyway.
Yeah, what they're doing.
I think it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll try it again. Probably. I'm very curious on a busy day.
Yeah.
How that thing operates, but
yeah.